Lynette Zing shed some light on the upcoming currency reset. She also addressed how we can get through this reset safely. She said that Mexico in the mid 90s, when they had their currency crisis, they officially did a devaluation in 1994. But you can certainly see that these are delinquency rates on mortgages, where they had already started to grow pretty substantially percentage wise prior to that. So then in April, they created the UDI, which is an indexed. That's why in this country we started talking about indexing gains. They created this unit of account, an inflation indexed unit to restructure existing loans because they wanted to ensure lenders a rate of return greater than inflation. Because we all know that what inflation really does is it eats away at your principal. Even though nominally the numbers don't change, but the value certainly does. That also pushes interest rates higher at that same time to compensate for the erosion in principal. So here we have, as the currency gets reset, we have what they did after that, and then looking at what happens afterwards to mortgages, because they are saying that this program is voluntary. So that's how they are going to structure it. They are going to make it voluntary. But as we all learned from what happened with mortgages and all the restructurings in 2008 that happened in the US and also globally. But in the US, that those restructurings were really about postponing defaults. So to summarize, really what we are looking at the time of the restructuring, most borrowers were faced with signing new loan contracts for amounts significantly higher than their original loans. In fact, amounts greater than the value of their homes, because now they are indexed borrowers were reluctant to restructure because the payments changed on a monthly basis in nominal terms. Because now this new unit of account, the UDI, was indexed to inflation. So who know what their payments were going to be happening? They knew they were going up, and so a lot of people continued to default. So what that did to prices and also to real estate? One thing that it did was it made interest rates spike. That means that any variable rate debt, any variable rate mortgages or variable rate home equity loans are going to be in jeopardy. First, because they are going to reset more rapidly as interest rates rise. The fixed rate mortgages will reset, as we just saw. They certainly did reset them, but they couldn't do it instantly because they were under contract. So there was a little block of time that they had to pay that mortgage off before it restructured. It's a repeatable pattern, so that's what happens to interest rates. Now using Japan, near that same period with their real estate bubble and prices implode because there's a ton of inventory that comes on. So when you stop to think about all of the leverage that's out there in all of this real estate, if it's leveraged to the hilt and people do not have the tools to pay it off before it gets restructured, or if they do restructure it and then those payments start going up on a monthly basis, all that real estate is coming back on the market as per Lynette. So of course, you are going to see even the prices in nominal terms start to plummet even as the currency is losing value. Now, if you are holding it as a tenant or as a landlord rather, or for investment, that is not a good thing, but everybody's got to have a place to live. Talking about whether one should pay off his mortgage now or wait until after the reset, Lynette said that it's better to carry that mortgage and stack coins, collectible coins, so that when you get the notification of a reset on your mortgage, after which typically occurs after the government has done that official reset in the currency and in gold, then you will capture some of those gains in gains and turns in terms of that currency and pay off your mortgage. So you not be rushing to pay off your fixed rate debt, and you need to understand you do not have any variable rate debt. So fixed rate debt is an advantage. Variable rate debt is not so. You gotta have roof over your head. And if that's where you are choosing to make your last stand, because you can generate food, water, energy, security and community, the gold and the silver will give you that barter ability and that wealth preservation. If you are doing it to create a last stand so you can provide those things for your family, it's better to buy low because your personal preference should be to have the lion's share of your wealth in an undervalued or fairly valued asset that is in a long-term positive trend, and the least amount of your wealth in an overvalued instrument, like in this country the dollar, that is in a long-term negative trend. It is highly likely that when the hyperinflation kicks in, that governments around the world, like we have seen them do over and over again, will go in and create limitations which could give you as a renter some level of opportunity because of the price is fixed and the currency is losing value. Then it's just cheaper and cheaper for you to rent. The inability to create that food, water, energy, and security and community might be an issue for you. Or in addition to that, we don't really know what's going to happen with rents. But what we do know is that until the government puts in those places, those rents can go up quite quickly. So that's an individual thing. If it is a variable rate, you want to get it converted to fixed rate if at all possible. If you cannot get it set to a fixed rate, any variable rate debt, you want to get that paid off before we go into a massive spike in inflation and in interest rates. So guys, what do you think about Lynette's strategies to be safe through the reset process? And also let us know what's your strategy to tackle this reset. Do type it in the comment section below. I'll catch you in my next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.